I take refuge. How can you say to my soul, flee like a bird to your mountain? For behold, the wicked bend the bow. They have fitted their arrow to the stream to shoot in the dark.
Hello and welcome to a new week of Daily Devotionals. This week we're going to be continuing our series called Songs for the Journey, and it's based on the book of Psalms. It's based on elements of landscape and nature and journey. It's based on the teaching, to some degree at least, of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And this week it will also have an emphasis on prayer. A question for you. Do you think prayer is a sensible use of your time? Many men, including myself on occasions, can succumb to bouts of PBS, or proud bloke syndrome. It is not always easy to admit it when we are wrong. It is not always easy to admit it when we are struggling. It is not always easy to admit that we might need to ask for help. It is not easy, but it is sensible. And for me, prayer is in some ways a sensible acknowledgement of certain things. I will touch on that later. So, I believe that we can and should work to get hold of the best possible information and research when making decisions about how we will use our time and our life. I think we can and should, where we are able, work to be the answer to our own prayers. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said this on the subject of prayer. God will never allow prayer to become a substitute for work and intelligence. God gave us minds to think and breath and body to work, and he would be defeating his own purpose if he allowed us to obtain through prayer what can come through work and intelligence. No, it is not either prayer or human effort. It is both prayer and human effort. And I certainly agree with that last statement. We need human effort. But I am also aware that despite my best efforts, there will still be times when I don't know what to do. Climbing a mountain is not a task to be taken lightly. Depending on the scale of the ascent, it requires teamwork and planning and preparation and knowledge and skill and strength. And like mountains, life can be scary and challenging and awesome and bewildering. And as we seek to navigate our way to the summit of whatever mountains we face, what may seem to us to be the most obvious or direct route up and through may not always turn out to be the best route. We need to do our homework. We need to prepare as best as we are able with the knowledge and experience that we have gained. But we may also find that whatever our current level of understanding is, we need input for such tasks that is beyond ourselves. As the writer of this well-known section in the book of Proverbs puts it, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. This is a reason why I believe in prayer, because I feel I cannot always rely on what seems best to me. I want and need God's guidance. Despite my best work and my best homework, I do not always have the answers or ability that I feel I need to navigate life or work or leading a church or managing my relationships successfully. I want and need outside help. And thankfully, I do think we have a God who is good and real and loving and able to step in and to help and to provide wisdom that I don't currently have. In his New Testament letter to the church, the Apostle James wrote this: "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all, without finding fault, and it will be given to you." Divine inspiration, divine wisdom is something that I want and need. Uncertainty has always been part of the human condition. To an extent, I think we must learn to become comfortable with a degree of mystery and uncertainty and not knowing. But I also believe that God is not aloof and God is not uncaring, and I do not believe that God just leaves us to our own devices to work things out best we can, but that when we ask for wisdom, or when we cry for mercy, when we call out to God, I believe he can answer and he can drop answers into our heart and head. This seems to be the experience of David, who wrote the 86th Psalm. He says, "Hear me, Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Guard my life, for I am faithful to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. You are my God. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I call to you all day long. Bring joy to your servant, Lord, for I put my trust in you. You, Lord, are forgiving and good, abounding in love to all who call to you. Hear my prayer, Lord. Lord, listen to my cry for mercy. When I am in distress, I call to you because you answer me." When we ask for wisdom, I believe God can and is willing to give that to us. And so may we ask, and may we receive, and may God help us all.
For the Lord is righteous, he loves righteous deeds. The upright shall behold his face. For the Lord is righteous, he loves righteous deeds. The upright shall behold his face. For the Lord is righteous, he loves righteous deeds. The upright shall behold his face. The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven, his eyes see. The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven, his eyes see. His eyelids test the children of men. I take credit